Hey everyone, it's Mary, and it's November 19th, which is 3 days from one of my favorite holidays ever. Second only to, or third only to, Christmas and Halloween. But Thanksgiving is an amazing holiday because basically you get to eat anything you want and no one can yell at you for it. I plan to eat all the turkey, all the mashed potatoes, all the pie. Oh, the pie. I ordered an apple pie, a pumpkin pie. I'm going to make a chocolate cream pie, and I'm going to eat like every single one of them. So, very excited about Thanksgiving. But what also I'm excited about is tomorrow is actually the release day of Camelot Code. I have been waiting so many years for this book to finally get on bookstore shelves, and I can't even believe that tomorrow is the day. I'm a little scared, I'm a little excited, and I can't wait to get it into the hands of you guys. So if you picked it up and that's why you're watching this video, because you want to learn a little bit more about the book or me, then you've come to the right place. And if you haven't and you're just seeing this video randomly, or maybe you read one of my other books in the past, I'm really excited about this one. I hope you will check it out. Basically, how did I come up with the idea for a Camelot Code? And I would say I have always been kind of an Arthurian junkie since I was a kid. I always loved fantasy stories. You know, I grew up reading like Narnia and Lord of the Rings and the Chronicles of Brighton and all this different stuff. And the King Arthur story, though, was one that really spoke to me. I read the Once and Future King, which was by T.H. White a long time ago, and I just love this idea of Arthur as this like peasant boy who had no idea of his illustrious destiny, pulling the sword from the stone and then suddenly finding out that he was destined to be king of England. It was just such a cool story. It's kind of like Harry Potter in a way, like the idea that, Harry was like just this ordinary normal boy, or so he thought. He was living under the stairs at the Dursleys and had no idea that his parents were these famous wizards, or that he was destined to be a famous wizard. And so there's a lot of similarities between that. But I wanted to kind of turn the King Arthur story on its head because, you don't want to just write the same story as the legend that's already been redone 1,000 billion times. And so that's what gave me the idea of the Camelot Code. And I love time travel stories anyway. Those of you who have read any of my other books will know I've done the Scorch series, which was kind of like a Terminator but with dragons, and that involved time travel. And I've done some other time travel adventures as well. So I wanted to do something with time travel. But instead of just having people go back in time, simply, I wanted to do a little bit different. And so I decided to send Arthur forward in time. And when he's there, when he accidentally comes to our time, of course, there's all sorts of, mess ups because he doesn't really understand what's going on. He doesn't understand our technology and our pop culture references and our food and all that kind of stuff. But, I sent him forward in time, and then he Googles himself, and he finds out his destiny. He finds out all the things that happened to him in his whole life. And it's kind of an interesting thought, right? Like, what would happen if you Googled yourself, Like, if I Googled myself, what am I going to do? What's going to happen to me in the future? Do I really want to know this? Is it going to change my decision if I do know this? So Arthur goes forward in time, and he Googles himself, and he finds out things don't end so well for him. Like, he gets to be this famous king, and he unites all the tribes of Britain, and he does all this stuff. He brings peace to the land, all this good stuff. But then some really bad stuff happens to him too. His best friend betrays him. His wife betrays him. He is killed on the battlefield by his own son after his son stages a coup against him, like rises up against him, and some really bad stuff. And of course he's like, yeah, no thank you. I think I'll stay in the land of indoor plumbing and football and pepperoni pizza instead. But because he's taken out of time, because he, is no longer going to do all those things, then the timeline goes all wonky because every thread of time is carefully woven together. And when you pull one out, suddenly everything goes wonky. And so things start going wonky in our present. And things like pepperoni pizza actually disappear, which is, oh my gosh, tragic. And so now our 21st century gamer geeks, Stu and Sophie, who have been playing video games with Merlin, the Merlin, all along and didn't even know it, have to go back in time and set things straight. And so I got the two time travel things. We got to go forward in time and see how Arthur kind of, stumbles along in the 21st century, and Sophie and Stu go back in time and they have to stumble around in the past because they don't know a lot about the past, just like Arthur doesn't know a lot about the future. So it's kind of like a fish out of water thing, and that was so fun to do. My favorite kind of story to tell. Some of you might be curious if this is the end of Sophie and Stu's adventures. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens in book 1 in case you haven't finished reading it yet, but those of you who have probably have some questions of what happens next. Well, I am very excited to tell you that there is a part 2. It should be coming out about October of next year, and we even have a title for it. It's called Geeks and the Holy Grail. Stu and Sophie are back, of course, but we also have 2 new characters. We have a druid priestess named Nimue and Merlin's assistant named Emerus, and they provide a lot of drama and humor and all that, and they are point of view characters as well. So it's going to be great. There's also another new character, and that is a baby dragon named Spike. And Spike is an interesting character. He has some digestive issues, let's just say that, this little dragon, and he can be a little stinky, but he's very cute. So those are some of the things that to look forward to in Geeks and the Holy Grail that comes out in October, and we're going to be talking a lot more about that, but I want to give you guys a chance to finish reading the first one first, and then we can get into more detail about the second one. And then we also have another book coming out in the spring of next year, spring 2020, called Dragon Ops, and Dragon Ops is really exciting. It's about 2 kids who get stuck in an augmented reality video game theme park. Yeah. So the idea is there's this augmented reality theme park on an island, kind of like a virtual reality one, like Ready Player One or something. But instead of just putting on the goggles and sitting, you actually walk around the island with the goggles and you see a different skin of the world. The world looks different, but it's still there, but it looks all different. And you fight monsters and you gain levels and all that, just like you would do in a video game. But unfortunately, when they go to this theme park, things go wrong. The theme park is not quite open to the public yet, and when they get there, they get trapped inside by themselves with no grown-ups. And there's this rogue, artificially intelligent dragon that takes over the game, and he's determined to win the game at any cost. So that is called Dragon Ops, and that will be spring 2020. So there's so much more to come, and I'm really excited to be able to share all these stories with you. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do, because you guys will be the first to see when we have like a new cover or some new information. I'm probably going to do a video where I read a little bit from the sequel or Dragon Ops, or both maybe, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So if you put questions down below too, I will be able to answer those, do videos maybe talking about some of the things you guys want to know, because I want to make this channel useful for you. So whether you are aspiring writers or readers, or you want to know a little behind the scenes about Camelot Code, how it came about, I could even read to you some deleted scenes. We have a lot of scenes in that book that didn't make the final draft. Like, for example, there's a version where Stu and Sophie are kind of have a crush on each other. In the final version, of course, they're just good friends, but we do have some scenes where there's some kissing between Stu and Sophie. So maybe I will read a little of that to you if you are interested. So anyway, that is all I have for today. Tomorrow, this will finally be on bookstore shelves. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I hope you are too. Thank you. Bye.